Awesome. Kind of like how we always talk about plots, circumstances, places, people,
Yep,
aligning to that right there.
very good.
Plots, circumstances.
The thing is about getting in harmony with the energy that you want to experience. And you are who you surround yourself with. Let's see here. Because everything's energy. Am navigating through setting these up. And I've got one more to line up here. How about wins and aha moments for anyone else?
I've been doing some structuring around business, and I'm currently in the process of shifting things around and stuff. So I'm just grateful for the process generally, just super, super grateful for the process.
Very good. The process of going beyond what you know is always the key to success. And that success is just the forward progression of realizing what you need to be doing. And how to apply what you already know. Because we know we can do better. We know that there's things we should be doing, but we don't do it. And it's about really just giving the body command and then experiencing follow through. I'm gonna touch a couple of parts here. Definitions and terms. Definite plans. The term means that one must proceed toward the attainment of one's definite purpose, with plans that are as definite, as clear, and clearly defined, and fixed in one's mind as is the purpose itself. Merely deciding on a definite purpose and then waiting for it to materialize through outside effort is not enough. In other words, one must acquire the habit of doing everything one does with the aid of plans that are clearly defined. Nothing must be left to luck or chance. The place to begin developing this habit is in connection with the small details of one's daily work. Organized effort. As has already been explained elsewhere in this course, the term organized effort means that one must develop the strategic ability to direct one's efforts in such a manner as to take advantage of the law of increasing returns. This calls for cooperative ability of the highest order. Proficiency in chosen vocation. The term means that one's definite purpose in life must be in harmony with one's training and education. If the definite purpose is out of proportion to one's ability, then it is obvious the greater ability must be developed before one can hope to attain the object of that purpose. You will never hop on to the next level of achievement until you have developed yourself and becoming the person that you want to see. Whether you believe you can do it or not, you are right. Henry Ford. Whether you believe that you can do it or not, you are right. Henry Ford. The man that says he can and the man that says he cannot are both correct. So here we're moving into self-confidence. Before approaching the fundamental principles upon which this lesson is founded, it will be of benefit to you to keep in mind the fact that it is practical, that it brings you the discoveries of more than 25 years of research, and it has the approval of the leading scientific men and women of the world who have tested every principle involved. Skepticism is the deadly enemy of progress and self-development. You might as well lay this book aside and stop right here as to approach this lesson with the feeling that it was written by some long-haired theorist who had never tested the principles upon which this lesson is based. Surely this is no age for the skeptic, because it is an age in which we have seen more of nature's laws uncovered and harnessed than had been discovered in all past history of the human race, of this human race. Within 3 generations, we have witnessed the mastery of the air, we have explored the ocean, we have all but inlated in distances on the earth, we have harnessed the lightning and made it turn the wheels of the industry. We have made 7 blades of grass grow where but one grew before. We have instantaneous communication between the nations of the world. Truly, this is an age of illumination and unfoldment. But we have as yet barely scratched the surface of knowledge. However, then we shall have unlocked the gate that leads to the secret power which is stored up within us. It will bring us knowledge that will make all past discoveries pale into oblivion by comparison. And here, let me get my pen real quick. We are going to tap it into that infinite field of consciousness. And the more we go to that infinite field of consciousness, the more we found out that there's always more. Thoughts, takeaways so far?
I would say the one who believes and who doesn't believe are both right. Whatever
How
you
does that
believe
feel
in
to
is
you?
right.
How does that statement feel to you?
Makes me feel like anything's possible, because if you believe in what you want, then it's you can do it. But if you believe in the negative, then you can also do that.
Yep. Any word is a symbol. The symbol represents something it is. Every word is a symbol, and the symbol represents something it is, and it represents something it is not. This is all dependent on the individual that's using the word and the symbols that he has inside of him. For one, what it is not is just a word. It is a movement. It is a direction. It is processes that are happening behind the scene. Before you speak, I hear you. By the time you've spoken a word, I have already organized your thought and the direction in which you use them. Before you speak, I hear you, and I organize you to think. So important. A lot of people miss this. Before you speak, I hear you because I organize you to think. So in the quantum field of entanglement, in the vacuum part of space of reality, where you're actually coming together, you're already being organized to think. So as you organize your thoughts, that's already interacting with the field. And the field is already organizing the processes that you're going to move into. The field is a direct connection with universal consciousness. You want to call it subconscious. It is directly connected to all things. And that's why you don't get what you want, you get what you are. At the quantum state on the vacuum state of reality, it is being organized really as it wills. Man thinks he has free will, but if he had free will, he would act and behave as he wants. He wouldn't act and behave as what he knows. He'd be connected to an infinite field of consciousness. He would be exploring every idea that he has. And every idea that he has, he would, at desire point, he would go and experience it and make it real, make it his own. But everywhere around the world, you see that will has been compromised. Before you speak, I hear you, and I organize you to think. That's why it's so important. Set a goal, clearly defined goal. Be very clear on the actions you need to take throughout the day. And then go and do the thing that you are not going to do. Go and do the thing that you are resisting doing. When you do when you walk towards the resistance, you'll find the way. When you walk through the resistance, you'll find the other side. More to the point, what if gravity were an after effect of the 0-point field caused by the alterations in the field due to the presence of matter? All matter at the level of quarks and electrons jiggles because of its interaction with the 0-point field. One of the rules of electrodynamics is that a fluctuating charged particle will emit an electromagnetic radiation field. This means that besides the primary 0-point field itself, a sea of these secondary fields exist. Between two particles, these secondary fields cause an attractive source. Which Sakharov believed has something to do with gravity. Hall began pondering this notion. If this were true, where physicists were going wrong was in attempting to establish gravity as an entity in its own right. Instead, it should be seen as a sort of pressure. He began to think of gravity as a kind of long-range Casimir effect, with two objects which blocked some of the waves of the 0-point field becoming attracted to each other. Or perhaps it was even a long-range van der Waals force, like the attraction of two atoms at certain distances. A particle in the 0-point field begins jiggling due to its interaction with the 0-point field. Two particles not only have their own jiggle, but also get influenced by the field generated by other particles. So here we're talking about a framework already in place. But as you've already entered this phase, you enter the phase, you moved in, consciousness has moved into from consciousness C to the wave to a bilocal space. It became bilocal coherent. The minute you became bilocal coherent, you connected to the brain, you've connected to the blood, you've connected to this mechanism, and then you became intelligent. Intelligent to what? The information in the body. Now we have bilocal awareness. You entangled with the environment. You started to pick up quantum bits of information from the field itself, from the body. Now you're entangled with the environment that you're seeing. So I'd given you guys a statement to read to yourself, to reevaluate yourself. Before you speak, I hear you, and I organize you to think. So somewhere in between this awareness from the body, you're also aware in a bilocal state all the way to the field. We're tethered. We're entangled with infinite intelligence. Duality happens because you're becoming aware at different states, all the way to a 0-point field state. Can be. It's very rare you find somebody moving into that 0 point and do it consciously. As you imagine, as you desire more, you're moving beyond the field of recognition of the memory that you moved into. Genius is just someone that is expressing going beyond the common framework of ideas. Is Ricardo on?
No, he's not.
Continue on. Our brain primarily talks to itself and to the rest of the body, not with words or images, or even bits or chemical impulses, but in the language of wave interference, the language of phase, amplitude, and frequency, the spectral domain. We perceive an object by resonating with it, getting in sync with it. To know the world is literally to be on its wavelength. To know the world is to literally be on its wavelength. A computer, a phone, a video. As you get on the wavelength, you begin to understand it. But you don't understand the thing until you can experience the thing. When you began to see someone drink a cup as a child, your desire went there. You wanted to experience the holding of the glass, the lifting of the cup. Consciousness was becoming aware that it is local at many states, bilocal, non-local, bilocal, local. The child began to want to reason. What is it? What's reasoning? Spirit consciousness is becoming aware that it's in a body and that it can begin to move this hand. It begins to even become aware that it has a hand. It doesn't even know it has a hand yet. So what is getting coherence right now? Spirit, mind, and body is getting coherence. Spirit, mind, which is bilocal awareness, is getting hand and eye coordination. And then it is wanting to experience lifting a cup. So here, this is where consciousness is becoming aware at different levels, all the way down to the experiential part of it. So then it may lift the cup, and then it may drink whatever was being expressed, and then it can have that source and begin to experience it, understand it, comprehend it. That's why it's so important. We're moving into self-confidence. If you do not have the self-confidence to move in the direction of your goals, your visions, you don't have a bilocal awareness, all the way down to a classical awareness. Consciousness resists being changed. We'll say the intelligence of your individuality resists being changed at the local level. At the local level, whatever this body was programmed to experience, when it's beyond the known of what that body was meant to experience, immediately the sentient consciousness, and now we're having another framework of awareness that is actually looking through your eyes as you look. The autonomic nervous system is aware of what it knows. And the minute you're going beyond what it knows, because it is monitoring behind the scenes, and you've never experienced that thing or doing those things. I had my son this weekend. He wanted to ride the jet skis. He'd never been on jet skis. He observed them at a distance. I've had jet skis for years. They've been put up in the storage building. He says, Dad, I want to drive jet skis. I said, we have jet skis. He says, we do. I said, yes. He's been on the boat all his life. We never rode the jet skis, so they've been parked for years. I go get him cleaned out. We take him out this weekend. He's on the jet ski. He's afraid and shaking. He says, Dad, I'm scared. Don't go fast. Don't go fast. I said, this is perfect. Everything in life for you, when you're going beyond what you know, you will find this word of fear or a feeling of fear. The sentient of the automatic nervous system is afraid. It has become aware that it's going beyond what it knows. So now we're talking about a bilocal awareness consciousness. And then we're talking about a local awareness binary awareness directly hooked up to the nervous system. A field awareness, a local awareness, bilocal. Mind, we enter the face and we think. Sentient consciousness is literally reviewing what you're thinking. The body is afraid. It has not experienced the jet skis. And we started to start. And he said, oh, I want to go back. I want to go back. I said, no, we follow, as long as you're in a safe environment, you have people that understand the safety and what you're doing, be okay with experiencing something new. This is how we grow. So right now, I'm literally teaching him the basics of the sentient consciousness, becoming aware that there's another awareness inside of you, becoming aware, and it's fear. And it resists change, and it resists being changed. It's literally happening to him. It's real. So if we don't integrate this as children, or if we're allowed to now go back, how much easier is it going to be in the future for this to happen automatically, and you not even be aware that there's this other energy becoming aware, and then causing you to act and behave as you do? It's so important, because people all around the world this is happening to, and just like that, their will is compromised, and they go back to what they know. There's literally a living membrane of information monitoring you as you do things, and will literally cause you to go back and do what you do. And it's aware, and it's conscious as well, to a certain degree. And it will secrete, release hormones inside the brain, cause you to go back to a behavior mode. It'll cause you to fight, flight, or freeze. And if you're not aware, you'll be controlled by it. Is everyone following me? We went through the
Yes.
process. I said, let's go. We continue to move forward. I said, as long as you're in a safe environment, you're being taken care of, you're on people that have done this before. I said, I'm here with you here and now. Feel me. And he felt me. I said, there'll come a time where you're going to have to do this on your own, as long as you're safe. Make sure you got all the things that you need. Be alert. Be okay with being alert. Be okay with being vigilant. And now let's go experience. Before long, I took him a couple rides. The kids wanted rides. Everybody wants rides. And he asked one of the friends that came with us, and he says, let's go. He told them, let's take me on the jet ski. Before I know it, I see them whipping across the water. And the young man said, yeah, your son grabbed a hold of the throttle. He said he wanted to go faster. What was happening? He'd become more what? Integrated with what he was experiencing. You follow me? He was literally training his dragon. You want to say it? They make cartoons and stuff. And the old ritual was training the dragon. When we look at the subcortical system, and we look at the way, and this has been known for years, when you look at neurocortex, subcortex, it looks like a snake, or you want to call it a dragon. And that automatic nervous system travels right down the spinal cord. That has memory. That's supposed to protect the body. So here, when conscious, your spirit is moving into this bilocal state all the way till it hits the brain, it moved into that sentient consciousness, and it opened its eyes. It opened its eyes. Listen to me. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm not using words just to say them or play with them. It, spirit, the eye, the higher eye, opened its eye. You are a spiritual being experiencing a physical reality. You are a spiritual being experiencing a physical body. You're another body, you live in a body, but you do access the body. And science does know the minute that energy leaves, the body flatlines, falls down, because this brain and body has no life and power. Spirit gives it life and power, but it does access information. And it will access sentient information according to what it needs to progress at that lifetime, at that year, geography, position, and time. And it has information. Why? Why is it that a child will automatically know where to find the mother's breasts, what to do? How does it automatically know how to, the heart to beat on its own, the lungs to operate on its own? Sentient. So you don't have to think to breathe. Organs, pH balance. It has memory. And its job is to protect the body. Thoughts, takeaways so far? Questions?
So the fact, Abraham, that there is resistance, we ought to walk through the resistance, irrespective of the feeling that may arise. Yes?
Yes, but what I'm trying to install again, because I'm giving you words. Remember, it's not the word; it is the symbol, the movement behind words. It is literally telepathic. So right now, as I'm speaking, I'm giving you different points of reference so that you can understand the process behind the word and you can do work the mechanism yourself. It's literally an energetic moves. Literally. Earlier, I talked about the frequency, and we talked about jumping on a frequency. You're jumping on a movement. What is the movement? You have to learn this internally. And if somebody didn't teach you internally when you were small, you're going to have trouble moving internally. Energy, moving energy. It's on a wavelength. I was touching his wavelengths. This is what happens. You're becoming sentient consciousness, becoming aware. Become aware of the sentient consciousness. It's looking through your eyes right now, and it has never experienced this. So it is alert and vigilant. Observe your surroundings. Be vigilant. That's the reason you become more aware. That's why your eyes are dilated. It is aware that it's going beyond what it knows or what it's experienced. Those are mechanisms that are happening behind the scenes of thought. And if you're not aware of it, you'll be controlled your whole life. So talk to the sentient consciousness. Oh, body is becoming afraid. It has become aware. It's looking through my eyes. It has become vigilant. I feel you. I see you. I hear you. I want you to be seen. We are aware now. But we're safe, and I'm taking care of you. And you'll feel it relax. Are you following me? Now we're making connection from the conscious to the subconscious. You want to call it subconscious? We're making the connections from the conscious, subconscious mind to be able to integrate and coherently work together. I said earlier, I gave the word master the dragon. In the Bible, it said Moses mastered the snake. He took the snake by the staff. Where is the staff? It's right here. The vertebrae runs 33 degrees all the way up to the what they call Christ consciousness. You want to use religion? I can play with this how many ways you want it because I've studied this so many different ways. Whatever you want to call it. There's a scientific part, and then they move symbolisms into spirituality. And yes, we have to have both combined. I use words so that you can understand the movement. Whenever he said Moses had access to, he was using the staff. Here comes the vertebrae. Sentient consciousness has memory of water, have all the memory of everything that's ever happened to that body from the beginning of time that it was created. So it has connection with all of nature. And in every blood droplet, it's like a USB. You have all the information from the beginning of the planet, because this body comes from this planet, and as well as universe. We've got information from the cosmos that is integrated within this planet. So inside the blood droplet, you've got endless amount of information. And this is why whenever somebody has an adrenaline rush, there's an emergency. You've heard of a woman picking up a car. How is that possible? Sentient and consciousness connected and ignited, and she was able to access it. All of a sudden, superhero power. This is what I'm talking about. You could not perform unless spirit was able to entangle with a membrane. And that membrane in this body could never operate without source, your spirit. So here we're coming into the entanglement of a unified field experience called you. We don't understand how powerful we are. The majority of the time, you think you don't have any power. And that's why you don't act like it. The information you're hearing right now is very advanced. This is advanced teachings. That's normally why I find people that are normally going to be teaching this information. Thoughts, takeaways so far. Where do you find yourself in what I'm saying? Can you find yourself in what I am saying? Can you find the wavelength? Can you find the movements? You can only find it as you are experiencing. You're doing this on purpose to experiencing something new. That's why it's so important to have a goal. Do something you've never done before. Allow yourself, become acquainted with the self, the lower self, higher self, lower self, by local, non-local space. Become aware that as you are looking through the eyes, there's another information looking through your eyes. Because spirit is giving life to this body at many different layers of awareness. And then you become aware. And it gives life to the sentient awareness. Are you following me?
Getting it?
Yes.
You want to know yourself? So this has been spoken about for centuries. First, know thyself. Who I am and who I am not. Who am I acting to be? What do I see? Who am I acting and behaving like? The highest part of me you'll never see. You following it?
Getting it.
Yes.
You'll understand it better whenever you can go and experience what I'm saying. The art of seeing is one of transformation. The art of seeing is one of transformation. You see with the eyes, and then you can see with the mind's eye. And then you can go to a bilocal, to a non-local awareness. Where were the Wright brothers working from? From the local, experiencing with their hands, to a bilocal, to a non-local space. They're getting information from the non-local and receiving that information and back all the way back to the brain nervous system, and then causing that body to behave as it was never going to behave. They were mastering the dragon. They were mastering this body. They were mastering this brain. They were mastering flight. Where was flight? In the field. Going from a
Abraham.
non-local awareness to a local awareness to a non-local awareness. They're getting feedback from beyond what was heard, seen, tasted, smelled, to local awareness, to all the local people. They're getting the feedback was their expression. But can you imagine if they would have been afraid, they would not have gotten feedback. They would have been influenced, but they wouldn't have gone experience to get feedback. Experience gives you feedback on the direction you need to keep working, walking, developing yourself. If you're not getting the feedback, it's because in between you higher side of you, lower side of you, there is compromisation. You've been compromised. Your will is being compromised. You haven't come into your subconscious. You have not integrated your awareness to move into the subconscious and control the flow of that sentient consciousness. This is a very, very important lesson. And I'm teaching it differently because I've been studying this for years. So I'm moving into the law of success and I'm talking about self-confidence, but I'm actually giving you the mechanisms behind the movement because this is really not communicated effectively. And you need to learn the mechanism behind words so that you can go beyond the known. I'm using words. You're getting images. But you will not be able to get the image and the word and the movement until you go out and experience what I'm telling you as you're doing it. That's when you're learning to reprogram from a non-local to a local state. You will begin to understand what I'm teaching right now. Somebody had a question?
I'd like just make a comment, Abraham, on this the explanation of the lesson you give your son, and of course, it's a big lesson for all of us because the fear he was experiencing was the fear of doing something that he never did before, and we all pass for the same things all the time. I remember me doing my CDL last say, and I didn't want it to be on the truck. I didn't want it to do the things that I didn't know because I was so uncomfortable. The fear. And right now, what I see is, yes, you don't know it, you fear, and you don't want to do it. You don't want to be there. But more you do it, you kind of force yourself to do it, to go do what you don't want to do. You start to be okay with the environment. You start to entangle with the things you have to do in the environment. You
So
start to get it.
very well said. Now, re-say what you're saying and imagine to think. I want you to imagine and think. Now make the neural connections. The body. Don't there's a lower higher you and a lower you. I, which is consciousness, your consciousness, in between a bilocal state, is having to access that brain and body, and the body did not. Now say the body did not want to go there. Because you are that higher and lower at the same time. So the lower consciousness did not want to be in that truck. The subconscious or the lower consciousness did not want to be in that truck. It had gained access of what you were doing. It was looking through your eyes and it was afraid. Now you're learning to train the autonomic nervous system to act and behave as it was going to. Can you say that?
Yes.
It was looking through what you're doing. It's looking at what you did an override. Now, instead of doing overrides, I want you to work on doing coherence. Look, I know you're afraid. I can feel you. I have stepped into sentient is aware, sentient consciousness. It's still me, but we have access to subconscious. The body is afraid. That's okay. I feel you. Now walk with me. The other day I saw some cartoons coming up, and it's called How to Train Your Dragon. The kids are gonna watch it. The people that made the movie are literally talking about the subconscious. They put it into a movie. How to train the body to act and behave as it's not going to. It's gonna go through things, it's gonna feel things. It becomes aware. But it's very rare somebody internally becomes aware at all states. but I promise you it's aware. And I'd be willing to bet how many times have you ran because you're not aware of when this is taking place inside of you. How many times have you fight, freeze, or flight? Were you aware through it? Are you aware through it all day long? Let's go back to will. And if you saw something out there and you want that out there, and every time you don't go and act, it happened that quick and it just shut you out. You didn't even get a chance to maybe even imagine what that would experience like, what that would be like. That's how quick this happens. Your will, you think you have free will? Look at every time that you see something, you say, man, I would like to have that. And you just keep on going. Just like that. Compromised. Every time you go and do the thing you don't want to do every day, your will's been compromised. Every time that you're living a life that you really don't enjoy, your will has been compromised. This is real, guys. And it's happening all over the world. It's happening to you, it's happening to everyone. But when you're not aware, it'll continue to control your behavior. And see how quick it is. Every idea you've never taken on. Every experience you pushed away for another time. This is a huge lesson for today. You're understanding it only at an intellectual level. You got to understand it in the field as you walk, talk, act, and do. It's the only way you'll understand what I'm teaching. Otherwise, you'll never learn it. Learning is experiencing. Right now, you're just getting the conceptual part of it. Thoughts, takeaways.
Yeah, this is very interesting because on this process, a lot of things has to be together, come together on this process. The doing part, the doing part is the process of you getting better in all the fields for you to experience things and be okay with this process of growing. Be okay, permit yourself to grow, permit yourself to experience the changes and the uncomfortable things you have to pass through. But it's the only way you grow, it's the only way you change.
Very good. And the only way to do that is wave interference. You've got to be the wave interference. you've already interfaced with the body, but then the body begins to tell you what to do. So there's got to be a wave interference. You've got to be bilocal, be able to swivel between the bilocal states from a classical awareness to a bilocal awareness so that you can change the agency of the mind. Otherwise, if you're not able to swivel, if you're not able to be spirit first, data second, data tells spirit what to do. If you're not able to swivel, bilocal awareness, you don't become aware and the data keeps telling you what to do. There is literally a wave interference. That wave interference is that spark goes beyond what it knows and it can send feedback back to what it doesn't know and still be the wave interference and then coherently move and process information through the brain and body to act and behave as it was never going to behave. You've got to be able to make the jump. You've got to be able to make the cue. You've got to be able to be aware when it's happening. And when you're not even aware that it's happening, you've got to be aware. If not, you miss your whole life. Our brain primarily talks to itself and to the rest of the body, not with words or images or even bits of chemical impulses, but in a language of wave interference, the language of phase, amplitude, and frequency, the spectral domain. We perceive an object by resonating with it, getting in sync with it. To know the world is literally to be on its wavelength. Isn't that amazing? To know the world is to literally be on its wavelength. To know the world is to literally be on its wavelength. To know the world, to know the world is to literally be on its wavelength. My son wanted to know the jet skis. He had to be on its wavelength. Everything that you want, you have to be on the wavelength of what you desire, but you have to be aware at a non-local, at a bilocal, which is going to be the agency of the mind, the programming. Bilocal awareness, all the way down to a classical awareness. And you've got to remain awake through the whole process. Otherwise, your will be compromised. Ability to select images, ability to create the life that you desire, ability to take steps you would have never have taken, ability to give the body command and do it. Wavelengths, synchronicity, harmony, balance, unity, consciousness, a unified field of awareness. It doesn't just happen. You make it happen. Life doesn't happen to you, it's happening for you, whether you're aware of it or not. That's why Ford said, the man that says he can and the man that says he cannot, we're both correct. Because they're the interference wave, whether they're aware of it or not. Everyone following me?
100%.
We are at our time. Go ahead, Deshaun.
I'm smiling here because it all comes back to that one phrase that you would make, view yourself like a scientist would, like you're testing the hypothesis all the time. An experience that I had, I think a few weeks ago, leading to a month, is that I had always wanted to do a particular project with the government. That's while I was in the military. It didn't work then. And, and everything started studying back with you. I decided, you know what, I'm not going to try the lines anymore. I'm just going to get up and walk into 3 ministers' offices, right? Just like that. So get dressed, all that stuff. And all 3 of them were positive rejections. Positive because they said that they were going to get back to me, but they didn't accept it immediately. But I didn't take it personal, And while listening to you now this morning, I realize why and how, it wasn't taken personal from a physical standpoint, because this is exactly what I did, and I wasn't aware of it then, but I'm aware exactly of what occurred with me in that moment those days. So
very good. So hold the thought.
Yeah.
When you make it personal, the data made it personal. You're coupled backwards. When data takes something personal, it thinks it's the data. That's the problem. When you're spiritual, you don't see the data for as it's you. You see it as just data. When you see your images and your thoughts and all the things that you have, that's not you. Those information you have moved into, but that is not you. This is why coupling is so important. If you couple backwards, you think that you're the data. And then you even think that you're the experience. No, you're having an experience. You're not the experience. You're moving through an experience. Spirit never stops thinking. The mind never stops. Life is not permanence, it's continuality. It's on a wave.
You
got it?
Yeah.
But if you're coupled backwards, you think that you're the experience. No, you are having an experience. You are a spiritual being having a physical reality, a physical experience, going through a physical experiences of what? Data.
Hmm.
By the time you're done here walking, you're just experiencing your images.
Hmm.
They're not you, but you are what you're experiencing at the moment. It's data, it's ideas. Huge. Really,
But
really get what I'm saying. Everybody getting, you need to go back and we're done with this and watch it over and over and over and over so that you can see yourself through the movements.
Hmm.
Even when I'm speaking, the majority of the people are not hearing me. The data's hearing me. Your perception is hearing me. Somewhere in between a local to non-local, and hopefully we can get to a bi-local, and we can get to higher states of consciousness, go beyond the agency of the mind that you've been programmed to have. That's there, but it's there to help you. It shouldn't be there to control you. If not, the agent of the mind has already been controlled. He doesn't have access to go to the agency of the mind. He doesn't go behind the agency of the mind, and he's just data, experiencing data. I see we're out of time. We are going to close off the classroom. I've left it open today. Thank you guys. This is our Tuesday classes. Hey, rewind. Send me a message. I'm ready. I'm ready for change. You want to get into programs? You want to get into studying consciousness, studying yourself, understanding yourself so you can live a better life? Send me a message. Tell me I want to get started. Thank you guys. Many blessings.